Hello everyone, RS Sanjay Studios here, and today I'm going to try to turn this hideous creature into a work of art. The first thing to do, obviously, is to look at what's wrong with him. Well, number one, this color. This dude looks like a Cheeto. Second, he has some really obvious seams going all over his body. And here, right down the middle. So, we are going to obviously have to sand those down. And he's made of this really weird, rubbery, super bendy plastic. There's really not much I can do about the literal plastic he's made out of, but I might try repositioning him in some hot water. Not so sure about that yet. I have some leftover sealant, which I removed out of another bottle when the air pressure didn't work anymore, which could have been dangerous, but yeah, nothing happened. And when I apply it to a horse, the horse looks super shiny. So the plan here is to create a horse that basically looks like a marble. The shiny finish is going to perfect that look. So, it's time to bring out the Dremel. Remember kids, safety first. Wear gloves, wear something over your mouth and nose to prevent particles from getting in your lungs, as that can cause long-term health effects, and wear safety glasses. Also, start out the Dremel at the lowest setting and slowly increase as you get comfortable. Yes, I know, I am not wearing a glove on this hand, but one, that's because I lost it. Two, I'm not actually holding the horse with this hand, so there's a lot less chance of anything happening. Three, I do not advocate doing this, okay? Zoom in, buddy. Okay. And the back seams are done. Now I have all the rest. So take a look at this chest seam. You can see here that the pieces weren't even joined equally, so this is a lot worse than a seam, and it's going to take a lot more fixing. This side is surprisingly actually okay, and look here, see, there's an actual like kind of hole going all the way in here, so I'm not just gonna be able to Dremel this away. So I have now done all the seams I could do the larger head here, but to get into the tighter areas like under the head here, and I'm not sure you can see that, and there's also a seam under the tail, I am going to have to use something smaller. For the seams along the barrel, I'm gonna get out my toughest drum. Here along the tail, the seam is extremely delicate. I'm trying to keep the texture of the hair intact, so for the tail here and for other really small delicate areas, I'm gonna be using this. The sanding, at least in the initial stages, is now finished. Next, this little dude's making a trip into hot water. I'm not even sure what I want to change, if anything, but the hot water is going to kind of give me a feel for what we can do and what we can't. Would you look at that? He floats, as opposed to Schleich, which will sink. Wow, I just found out something very interesting. This guy is hollow. See how the neck develops this dent in here? It's hollow. And if I squeeze it, see? Hollow. Like a squeaky toy. Well, I'm obviously not really going to be able to bend the neck like I planned, because then it'll get this weird dent. It'll be obvious to everybody that this thing is hollow. We will just have to leave him as he is. So I put some clay here to fill up the gap here in between the two pieces of plastic. As you can tell here, it's really rough. But the thing is, my method for painting the torch is going to obscure a lot of the details, so I'm not going to have to be as perfectionistic about sanding everything down and making it super smooth as I usually would be. It's raining, which means the conditions are probably not the best for my first coat of Rust-Oleum, but whatever. It's been raining for hours, and what's the worst that could happen? So I just wanted to see what I was working with, and even though my first coat hasn't dried yet, I can see I'm gonna need to do a lot of sanding over here. And I'm probably gonna need to be pulling off these little flakes of plastic on the legs along the seams. After some sanding and repriming and sanding again and repriming, I'd say this guy is ready. He's far from perfectly sanded, but like I said, the way I'm gonna paint him is gonna leave some really thick layers of paint, which are going to cover up a lot of detail. And anyway, this is pretty much a challenge to just see what I can do with a minimum amount of work and a really bad starting model. So if it's not super gorgeous or perfect, that's fine. I tested out my marbling method on this bull, which I admit using red as one of the colors may not have been the best idea because now he looks like he's been stabbed by a matador, but it does show that my method does work. And my sibling said he looks like a mutilated cow. I'm going for marble with a base shade of pale blue with darker shades of blue, maybe some purple, definitely some gold. So first I'm mixing up the pale blue. Now I mixed up some darker blue in another cup, and I want to add a hint of green, so I'm going to shave some green pastel into here. So here we have a darker blue. And I'm going to take this back and pour some of the darker blue into the first jar. Then I'm going to darken this even more by pouring more of the pastels in here and mixing it up. So now we kind of have this turquoise color, and we're going to pour this in here again. Now it's time to add some gold to the mix. Finally, I'm gonna add some black here to turn this into a really dark blue. And then drizzle a little of this on top to finish. Okay, come on out. And now, for the fun part, I'm going to grab this and drizzle it all over this horse. This attempt, as you can probably see, was a fail, except for this nice swirly pattern here and here. This marbling was really bad. I think it was because I didn't do enough layers. Like, I did a big chunk of one color and then really nothing else of the other color and then dumped a bunch of gray on top. So, whoopsie. For my second attempt, can't really see it, but I did a lot more layering and I'm hoping it's going to work better. What all these layers will do is cover up those marks and rough patches that I didn't sand. So it's really not a big deal. So we're already looking a lot better. A lot more details here on the back, even though on the face and lower down it's a bit more subtle. After some more pouring, I got this. Not perfect, but I don't want to keep on doing this forever until I get lucky, so we're going to proceed. Now right now, this guy still looks like a trashy plastic pony.
I'm hoping though that making him look shiny is going to change that into looking like he's been carved out of marble. Obviously, I don't think that's gonna happen, but anything better than this is still gonna be a success.
So, what is this? Where's the shine? I don't know what happened there. I mean, it is supposed to be matte sealer, but when I used it before, stuff did turn out shiny. Which means I could have used it a long time ago for something else. But fortunately, I have an ace up my sleeve. I have a bottle of gloss that I use for finishing the eyes and the nostrils, and I suppose I'll just give him a coating with that.
So, one coat of varnish later, and the gloss doesn't really show up on camera, but he's looking really... Does he look like he's been chiseled out of solid marble? Sadly, no. But does he look, pretty good, much better than he did before? I'd say, even though his pattern didn't turn out exactly the colors I wanted, yes.